Welcome to National Focus. I'm Kerdisha St. Louis. Coming up, a drier than usual season has begun. Baroness Patricia Scotland outlines her approach to reducing gender-based violence, and the Dominica Brewery and Beverages makes a large donation to the Ministry of Housing. Stay with us for details of these and other stories after this.
Introducing the Government of Dominica Internal Directory mobile app, available for download from the Google Play Store, One Mobile Market, and the Government of Dominica's website. Access to all ministries and sub-departments' phone, email and office addresses and websites. Simply select a ministry and the sub-department. You can dial directly from the app or save the numbers to your phone contacts. It's convenience at your fingertips.
Is my passport ready for pickup? Good. It really works.
Download the Government of Dominica Internal Directory mobile app today.
Baroness Scotland was ridiculed and attacked in a most vicious and personal way by some among us who, by virtue of the positions, should have known better. Even though the outcome speaks to the suitability and appropriateness of a candidacy, some are too arrogant and childish to apologize for their reckless utterances and unsatisfactory behavior. Therefore, on behalf of the government and people of Dominica, today, Baroness Scotland, I wish to formally apologize to you for the less than dignified behavior of some of your compatriots.
This was the Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit apologizing to the Baroness on Monday during his remarks at the official renaming of the Vickers Primary to the Baroness Patricia Scotland Primary School. Prime Minister Skerrit says since the nomination and consequent election of the Baroness to the post of Secretary General to the Commonwealth, she has been criticized, and less than dignified remarks about her character have been made by certain individuals. Honorable Skerrit describes these criticisms as blameless and misguided. He said he was convinced that the Baroness had a clear chance of winning when he decided to stand behind her candidacy. Honorable Skerrit likened his ordeal of proving his Dominican citizenship to the Baroness's situation.
Now, here it was that I grew up in Dominica, and that counted for nothing when it came to establishing my credentials. But Baroness Scotland was to be exorcised from the ballot for Commonwealth Secretary General because she did not grow up in Dominica. That was the fuzzy reasoning and logic of someone who aspired to be the leader of this country at this very challenging and dynamic period in our country's development. In the end, my dear friends, common sense and reason prevailed, and Baroness Patricia Scotland was duly elected Commonwealth Secretary General, benefiting from the support of most Caribbean countries.
The Prime Minister says the candidacy of Baroness Scotland should have been an occasion for the country to unite and support its candidates. Meantime, Baroness Patricia Scotland, who will be sworn into her new post as Secretary General of the Commonwealth of Nations in the new year, has outlined her approach to bringing the best results to each member state. When the Baroness landed in Dominica last Friday, she spoke with members of the media at the Douglas Charles Airport. She hopes to help the 53 member states realize their biggest accomplishments by first talking.
Every single country I visited, I've asked them, what's your top 3 things? What will make the difference for you? And I'll be doing that for our region. If we want to look at success, what are the 3 big things that we together want to do by the end of the 4 years? What will success look like for all of us? And then to ask each of us the question, if that is success for all of us, what am I going to do as an individual to make that happen? And that is something that each person in this room and each person listening to this is going to have to ask. Not what is someone else going to do? What are we going to do? What am I going to do to make this happen? And I think we can do it. I really do.
The question has been raised in the public circle about the Baroness's intentions as it relates to lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender rights. At that press conference, she cleared the air on her stance.
I represent 53 countries, and what I have to do is to listen to what the 53 countries have to say, and then I have to do my job. Do you know what a relief that is, not to have any opinions of my own anymore? I will listen to every single country, and I am not just the Secretary General for the Commonwealth for one region. I'm the Secretary General for 53 countries. And so you will know that if the Secretary General of 53 countries speaks only on behalf of one region, that's no Secretary General. So I am starting and I'm going to listen to everyone. One of my major jobs is to listen, to collaborate, to think about how I can bring people together across the 53 countries so they can come to an agreement. I'm not starting any fights. I have a lot of oil to pour on troubled waters, and I have a lot of listening to do.
She went on to add that each of the 53 states are sovereign and must take decisions on their own.
The Secretary General has no ability to change the law of any state, and that is fact. We also have, though, the Charter, the Commonwealth Charter, which is an aspiration for every single member. And we will work together on that charter to make sure that we all encourage and enable all our countries to seek unity on that. And I am absolutely clear that all the countries are going to be looking at the World Bank data, which says that if you want to be truly wealthy, you have to invest and create social capital, and that social capital has to allow every individual to give of their best. So am I going to be encouraging people to think about how we can do that? Of course I am. But am I going to be dictating to anyone? No.
Since she was elected to the post of Commonwealth Secretary General, Baroness Patricia Scotland has made it clear that the top of her list of priorities is the issue of domestic violence. Instead of just adding her voice to the international cry to end this scourge, the Baroness has developed a working strategy which may actually make gender-based violence a thing of the past.
I started off by looking at how much domestic violence was costing the country before. And when we looked at those figures, the United Kingdom figures was it was costing £23 billion a year. Now at that stage I was Deputy to the Home Secretary and I was the Criminal Justice Minister, and I was given the task of coordinating and coming up with a strategy. So we discovered it was £23 billion. What I then did is disaggregated that £23 billion, so I understood what every department of state was spending. I was criminal justice, and it was costing me, out of my budget, £1 billion domestic violence. It was 25% of all violent crime was domestic. So we then looked together as how much it was costing health, how much it was costing education, how much it was costing housing. So we then realized that if we came together, all the departments, we could probably cut the cost because each department was spending money on the same thing. We also realized that we needed to intervene in these cases faster. So we created something called the multi-agency risk assessment approach.
The approach piloted in the United Kingdom caused the reduction of domestic abuse by 64% and the cost to the state by £7.1 billion. She described this approach this way.
Was looking at all the cases where women had died and looking at the similarities. So was there something similar in all those cases which were indicative that they were high risk? And we were able to work out which cases were high risk, which cases were medium risk, and which cases were low risk. And then all the agencies came together. and we had one definition. So instead of spending 4 or 5 hours having a conversation, we were able to say it's a high-risk case. And as soon as we knew it was a high-risk case, we knew what education needed to do, what health needed to do, what the police needed to do, what social service needed to do, and how we needed to protect that woman and come together. And it meant that for every £1 we spent, we saved 6. But because we were able to identify cases which were high risk early, we intervened early and we saved more lives.
The strategy was employed in Spain and resulted in a 25% decrease in familial homicide. The Baroness says she wants those results for her Commonwealth member states.
I hope that we will be able to create Commonwealth models of best practice which people will be able to use to help them to implement appropriate change in their countries. And I believe that there's a real opportunity.
The Secretary General designate confirmed that Dominica's advocates will find support in her as it relates to ending gender-based violence. Importantly, she insists and appeals to all that gender-based violence is not solely a women's issue.
This is not something which is just a women's issue. It's, if you've ever spoken to a father or a brother who has had their child murdered by another man, it's heartbreaking. And so this issue is all of our issue. And I hope we will work together. I'm certainly going to do everything I can to keep this at the forefront of the agenda as it goes forward.
Today, 1 in 3 women are affected by domestic violence. It is the greatest cause of morbidity in women and girls. In more news, on Wednesday, the Dominica Brewery and Beverages Limited gave $50,000 worth of building materials to the Ministry of Housing. This gesture is as a result of the company's desire to assist in the rebuilding process post-Tropical Storm Erica. At a short handing over ceremony at the government headquarters, the Honorable Acting Minister for Housing, Dr. John Colin McIntyre, expressed deep thanks to the company from government.
What you have given us in terms of Kubuli here this morning, we want to say, a special thank you to you as well as your company, Ms. Hamilton, and the staff of everyone at Kubuli. And I want you to take back to your parent company the fact that we are highly appreciative of what you have done here for us today. We have an enormous task in building homes back for our people. And I mean, it's going to be a very, very hard job, a long journey. And there are still folks who are suffering from the point of view that they have lost their homes completely. There's a lot of folks who have damaged homes. So what you have done here today for us will take us a long, long way in terms of the rebuilding effort, in terms of helping our people.
The Dominica Brewery and Beverages Limited have been actively involved in relief efforts following the passage of the storm. Shafia London is commercial manager of the Dominica Brewery and Beverages Limited.
The Dominica Brewery and Beverages Limited stands in solidarity with the people of Dominica, and we have been providing assistance in several stages. At the first stage, we helped with the recovery. This started from the day immediately after the storm. We opened our distribution center to ensure availability of water supplies to all, notwithstanding many of our employees could not journey to work on that day. We further made donations and offered discounts to individuals wishing to purchase bottled water directly from us. The brewery also made donations to several relief agencies equipped with the experience and the resources in the distribution of disaster supplies, such as Bath Estate Development Committee, Dominica Infirmary, Red Cross, and the Rotary Clubs of Dominica.
She said that this donation came out of a desire to do even more.
We made a commitment that our company will work alongside the government in their efforts to rebuild. Though it took much longer than anticipated, it is better to be late than never. So today we are very pleased to make a contribution of building materials to the government and people of Dominica. We purchased these materials locally as we wanted to continue to help to support the local economy. We thank Dominica for its continued support of our company, and we will continue to provide as much assistance as possible.
Materials received includes lumber, windows, roof covering, zinc sheeting, and plywood flush doors. You're watching National Focus. More when we return.
It is time to break the silence. Child abuse is one secret you should not keep. For more information on child abuse or to report suspected cases on child abuse, contact the Social Welfare Division on 33 Great Marlborough Street or call 266-3020 or 266-3080.
Welcome back. Dr. Joy St. John, Director of the Surveillance, Disease Prevention and Control Caribbean Public Health Agency, CAFRA, says that Tropical Storm Erica can be used as a way for other Caribbean countries to go over their plans to be prepared in the case of another event such as this impacting their country.
There are adverse weather systems that affect islands in the Caribbean every year. It is vitally important, therefore, to learn from events in Dominica, not only to improve resilience within Dominica, but for other countries in the Caribbean region to be able to review their own preparedness and resilience. Many have spoken about the after-action review that the National Emergency Operations Center activated. And the goal of this after-action review is to identify areas for improvement of the national health sector's response to disasters, utilizing a multi-sectoral approach.
She was addressing the opening ceremony of a two-day national after-action review of the events relating to the impact of Tropical Storm Erica, which began yesterday, December 16th. Dr. St. John emphasized the fact that the after-review is not an opportunity to point fingers, but to assess what happened, what went well, and what can be improved.
The focus on different elements of the emergency response will use the following questions to guide the discussions. What was supposed to happen? What actually happened? Why were there differences? What are the learnings from what happened? What went well and why? And what can be improved and how? This process should not, I repeat, should not be considered a critique or a chance to blame individuals or groups where things did not work optimally, but should be considered a dynamic, candid, and professional discussion of the events and an opportunity for everyone to learn and improve performance for the future.
She notes that CAFRA is in the process of developing a tool to track the recovery process of islands such as Dominica who suffered from disasters.
Already, CAFRA's collaboration has produced a useful tool for tracking the kind of complex recovery process that Dominica has had to undergo. This tool, the dashboard, is an easy visual monitoring device which allows progress or regression to be easily recorded by geographical location and by entity or organization. This greatly simplifies decisions about how to focus efforts and resources in a time of great stress and potential chaos.
Dr. St. John gave us some of her hopes for the deliberations.
I want practical products which help our CARICOM member states to plan and respond and rebuild. I want ways to keep the health system functioning. I want ways to address the mental health issues that plague the survivors when loved ones and colleagues are lost. I want to decide on the forum for effective joint work of the international agencies. I want the formula for producing communication templates which make it easier for ministries and agencies to create useful and understandable messages to keep their population and member states informed. I want regional assistance templates which can help governments decide what they need to ask for and which countries can most easily give them what they want, so that in times of trial, leaders can have the maximum benefit from countries that are eager and willing to assist.
In more news, an environmental impact study will determine the fate of the Kerdisha Primary School. This is according to the Honorable Minister for Education, Peter Seja, at Parliament on Tuesday. The students of that school have been attending classes at the Salisbury Primary School since the August storm, which decimated the coastal community of Kerdisha, among others. Minister Seja made this announcement by way of update.
The Kerdisha Primary School is situated in close proximity of the riverbed which runs through the village of Kerdisha, and as such, an environmental assessment is required to ascertain the safety of the location prior to investing funds on renovation.
That assessment will determine the future of the Kerdisha Primary School.
The findings of the environmental assessment and engineering report will determine the completion date. And Madam Speaker, the results of these assessment reports will be instructive in determining the commencement of school operations in Kerdisha.
And finally, this news time, a drier than usual season is being predicted for the 2016 dry season. The dry season commenced on December 1st and will run until May 2016. One of the strongest El Niño events on record is presently being experienced and is expected to last until the end of the dry season. This involves the unusual warming of the eastern equatorial Pacific Ocean. During an El Niño event, a stronger westerly wind prevails across the Caribbean and tears apart the cloud tops, which reduces the chances and intensity of rain, thunderstorms, and tropical cyclones. With this in mind, drier and hotter than usual conditions are expected to continue. Rainfall total from December 2015 to May 2016 is expected to be below to normal, with projections for fewer wet days. This will lead to an increase in the surface dryness and fewer wet spells. Temperatures are expected to be above to normal, with record-breaking maximum temperatures. Many of the Caribbean islands, including Dominica, are in a long-term drought warning. This means water shortages may persist throughout the rest of 2015 and will worsen in the first half of 2016. The general public is therefore urged to continue to conserve water as we enter the dry season. And that's the English news. Coming up next, Creole Highlights with McPherson St. Luce.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non, moi c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premièrement, ministre public works qui travaille et puis village construction en pays là pour bâtir plusieurs projets. Parole ça là sorti au ministre public works honorable Ian Pinard. Il y a un autre bagaille honorable Pinard mentionné, c'est travail qui prend place à ce Friendship Bridge en Wozo qui est ouvert week-end ça là.
Nous allons faire un projet pour toute la communauté à Dominique. Nous avons fait l'argent au village council là. Et puis, partie projet qui a fait tout partout Dominique. Et puis, nous allons aller à Dredge, à River, à Pichelin, à Kerdisha, à Laron, à Casse Comfort. Nous allons faire un partie barrage actuellement. Friendship Bridge là qui est fait depuis Tropical Storm America. Siemens Friendship Bridge qui est ouvert. Et puis, il prevent congestion qui a ouvert actuellement. So Siemens by samedi, Siemens qui est ouvert et puis qui ease up congestion là à Ozo. So la partie barre qu'a fait au pays après Tropical Storm America.
En la nouvelle, mon secteur agricole a tapé bon avis pour pousser ce secteur là l'année prochaine. Parole ça là sorti au ministère agriculture honorable Johnson Drago.
So moi le dit tout Dominicien. Espoir moun qui en affaires agriculture. Dominique, c'est un pays qui a produit primaire manger agriculture en whole région. L'année prochaine, je vais inviter tout le monde pour s'occuper double effort en ça yo ka faire agriculture. Je vais demander les gens pour ouvrir plus terre, planter plus manger. Gouvernement qui bail au support. Quand nous ka parler, nous ka ba support et puis ça fait manio qu'on nous ka parler. Nous ka ouvert tout chemin qui bouché par Falma. Nous y a assez organisations qui ka aider nous avec ça dans les prochains qu'on BAM, qu'on FAO, gouvernement même ka mettre l'eau l'argent ça pour nous ça aider planter pour yo ça increase production.
Honorable Drago mentionné l'occasion Park House que le gouvernement Dominique a bâti par habitants.
Nous disons Park House là qui est venu, qui commission, nous avons demandé planter pour servir, nous avons demandé ces Hoxas là pour servir, pour nous avoir un bon produit l'autre pays pour nous faire plus d'argent en agriculture. Parce que assez de monde Dominique qui continue pour dépendre à son agriculture pour livelihood et puis nous continuons à tout support là besoin et pour en faire ministre agriculture et agricultural sector en y pousser devant plus en force.
Et puis finalement, organisation civile qui assiste le ministre agriculture et puis plans Nana et industrie FIG, si le chef département quarantine Ran Ansem, il peut aussi assister à d'autres aspects.
Syria encore nous aider un pineapple avec figue quand nous parler il y a 18 000 tissue culture pineapple que nous allons pour l'aéroport Douglas samedi qui vient. So nous bien contents pour projet ça là. Aussi il y a nos équipements pour vétérinaire. Comme ça nous des programmes qui fait surveillance en dedans Black Sigatoka, Lifali Halloween, Rabies, Bagayam, Mountain Chicken là. So encore ça va aider nous parce que Harry qui venu nous pas tenir électricité. So toutes ces réagents là yo gâti. Nous bien contents Syria qui a replacé ces réagents ça là pour nous faire travail nous parce que travail ça là c'est en surveillance nous pour savoir où là ces maladies ça et comment nous ca gommer contre les. So nous bien contents pour support Syria Kaba nous le dit Syria bien merci avec European Union pour aider Dominique.
Messieurs mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelle en créole pour à présent. Non, moi c'est McPherson Luce. Qu'à tout le monde en bonne saison Noël. Au revoir.
How to develop the virtue patience coming up next. Because everything is instant, we are so much more likely to be impatient in many aspects of our lives. When we text someone and don't receive a response right away, we debate and ponder the meaning of the delay. One unconventional way of developing the virtue patience is by reading. Reading requires patience. No matter how long it takes you to finish your book, enduring the time it takes to complete it will help your patience level. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm. Like our Facebook page, facebook.com/GIS News Dominica, and follow our Twitter at GIS Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. From all of us here on the GIS News production team, I'm Kerdisha. Thanks for watching and join us again next time on National Focus.